Boy, you know it must be a wrestling review when I'm wearing a Samoa Joe shirt and letting the neckbeard grow out. What's up, guys? Tougie here, back again. And yes, indeed, it is Wrestlemania season, which means indeed it is time for me to talk about some wrestling. Again, as per request. So in this video, it's going to be, I don't know how well this is going to be structured. It might just be rant, ramble, and get all the information out there. But we're going to talk about NXT Takeover New Orleans, and we're also going to be talking about my predictions for WrestleMania 34. So let's get right down to business, because holy hell, 13 matches. 13 matches for WrestleMania, 3 on the pre-show, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to start off with the Armbar, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which, I mean, who really cares at this point? Has anyone cared since Cesaro tossed Big Show over the top rope 4 years ago and they didn't do anything with him? I mean, Baron Corbin winning. Who the hell won at 31? I don't even remember. It was Big Show, wasn't it? Yeah, Big Show won. It was, what's his name? Sandow, like, fucking tossed out The Miz, and then Big Show just said, fuck you, jobber, see you later, have fun at TNA, and then retire, and Big Show won. And then Corbin, and then, yeah, last year, Rob Gronkowski won the Armbar last year, let's be honest. But no, nobody cares. Big Cass is gonna return, and he's gonna win. And the Titantron's gonna say, big ass, and everyone's gonna laugh, because memes, right? Probably. Big Cass is my prediction to win. So we have a return in the Men's Royal Rumble, the Armbar, and in the Moolah / Fallopian Tube Trophy / Women's Battle Royal. I'm not going to go with the return, although technically it could be since she appeared at the Royal Rumble. I'm going to go with the debut of sorts. Ember Moon is going to win. Now, I'm not the only person to make this prediction, and also kind of wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, as to who I think is going to win the NXT Women's title on Saturday, which is tonight, by the way. But while Sasha and Bayley's going to be the main story of the Fallopian Tube Battle Royal, Ember Moon is going to win it. Or someone from NXT, but Ember Moon's probably the best guess, and a good way for her to debut, kind of like Baron Corbin did, except they didn't really do much with Baron Corbin until he won Money in the Bank and then lost it like a fool. So yeah, this should be great. Both Battle Royals on the pre-show. That's real good. Speaking of the third match, though. Speaking of the pre-show. The third match on the pre-show. Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight title, which hasn't been seen since Enzo Amore was shit-canned. Now, have I ever watched an episode of 205 Live? That's a great question that I just asked myself. The answer is no. I watched the whole Cruiserweight tournament back in the day, but, you know, 205 Live, just, yeah, I don't know. I'm in a spot as a wrestling fan where watching, like, here's the thing. 3-4 years ago, watching every PWG, every AAW event I could find, for me, I'm in a spot right now where a good match for the sake of a good match, I need a little bit more than that. So 205 Live, just seeing good matches for the sake of seeing good matches, it doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot for me. When this tournament originally started, it was about, hey, Cedric Alexander's finally going to get a shot, and it's kind of turned into this being more about Mustafa Ali and his time to shine, which is why I think he's going to win the Cruiserweight title in what should be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. It should at least wake everybody up from, or at least be a good break in between two different battle royals. That brings us to the main card. As far as the order of these matches, it's just best guess. But we have Randy Orton defending the United States title against Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and the late addition, Rusev. Now, you know, Randy Orton winning the U.S. title, I mean, cool. Gives him something to do at WrestleMania, right? Bobby Roode, obviously he's cooled down a lot. No one cares about Jinder Mahal. He's a walking meme. And then there's Rusev, who's going to win. The end. We don't need to say anything more. Whether or not you believe the rumors surrounding, oh, he requested his release and this is what they're doing to get him to be like, hey, stay here, be happy. It doesn't really matter what you believe. Rusev's going to win, though, as he should, in what will probably be the pop of the night. That's an early prediction. I don't really see what else would generate a bigger reaction. Is it going to be Hardy Boys level from last year? No, but still, Rusev will walk away with the biggest pop of the night. That brings us to the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. Now, the obvious choice seems to be go with the Bludgeon Brothers. However, I am predicting that the Usos are going to walk away as SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. Still SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. The reason for that, I feel like there's more legs to this if you just give the Bludgeon Brothers the titles immediately, like, you're still kind of building towards that. The triple threat match gives the opportunity for the Usos to just stealthily cover Kofi or whatever to retain the titles. They sneak away the dastardly heels, even though they're kind of not compared to the Bludgeon Brothers. But still, I just don't think the Bludgeon Brothers are going to win. They're going to dominate the match, but they're not going to win. The Usos, in their first main card appearance at a WrestleMania, are going to stealthily win the match and retain the titles. We'll move on to the other title match. Again, I'm not in the business of jump cuts. Let's just keep going until I run out of speed and stamina. And speed in terms of stamina, not speed as in speed. Don't be making assumptions. I'm a YouTuber. You think I can afford drugs? Come on now. Come on. Look at, I don't even have a green screen. I have a Bruins blanket that covers up a goddamn panel. What are you thinking we're doing here? Oh, maybe that's why Tougie doesn't have those PC improvements, because he's a vicious drug addict. Anyway, The Bar defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Braun Strowman and blank. Now, whether or not it's Samoa Joe, which I'd be pretty happy about, whether or not it's even Rey Mysterio, as the rumor was out there, I think his partner is going to be the obvious choice of Elias. It's right there for the taking, unless Elias comes out and, cuts a 5-minute sing-song promo on New Orleans on the stage, which I'd be alright with, but considering, again, they have 10 matches on the main card, I just don't see them doing that. Unless you wanted to have Elias in the, I don't know, maybe The Rock's gonna show up, maybe. Then you could have Elias in a segment with The Rock, and that would be pretty cool. But otherwise, for now, just to keep my expectations in check, I am going to go with Elias being Braun's partner. They are, of course, going to win, and you've had that natural comedy between the two anyway, especially with the Symphony of Destruction match. So Braun Strowman and Elias will be your new champions, and I gotta be honest, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, as far as what happens with The Bar next. You want to talk about the draft or the swap, whatever the hell you want to call it. I wouldn't be surprised if The Bar go over to SmackDown. Or maybe Sheamus is taking time off, as the rumor has been out there. Anyway, moving on. The Intercontinental title match. The Miz defending against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Rollins or Balor must be winning, right? No, The Miz is going to win. It doesn't really matter that he just had a child. He's still going to win. I would like, as a human being, I would like for The Miz to take time off and be with his child and wife. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to win. I do. Now, it would make more sense, again, for The Miz to lose to one or the other, then one or the other, Finn, Seth, they have a rematch at whatever the hell the next pay-per-view is. Is it Backlash at this point? I think it is. They keep changing it. And then they'll randomly throw in, oh, well, here's Great Balls of Fire this month. It's like, can we please just go back to the old days of having the same pay-per-views in the same months? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but Backlash is more of an April pay-per-view. Then you have your Judgment Days. Then you have your King of the Rings. I'm old and cranky is what I'm saying. The Miz is going to win. We move on to the women's title matches. First off, with Alexa Bliss against Nia Jax. And yes, Nia Jax is going to win because be a star, right? I mean, you're not really going to have the bully win, are you? I mean, you might. You might, but I don't know. Then again, it is WWE. Maybe Alexa will win. But Nia Jax should win. And will win. Because I said so. The SmackDown Live women's title match. Charlotte and Asuka. Contender for match of the night. I'm looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. The hype level may be too high, especially depending on how much time they are given. You'd like this match to have 13 plus minutes, which makes me think that Alexa and Nia will go about 7. Which is kind of unfair, but it is what it is. Asuka's going to win. I could easily see Charlotte winning, obviously, because she is the number 1, and it would be, huge for her to be the first one to beat Asuka on the main roster, and in NXT, for that matter. I don't see it happening. I think you had the nice headline at the Royal Rumble of 2 Japanese people winning both Rumbles. And I think in terms of both of them going on the Mania and winning, I think that's going to happen as well. Asuka's going to win. It's going to be a great match, I hope. We move on to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If it wasn't for the, oh, you stay fired if you lose situation, this match would be a bit more interesting. It's just a matter of whether or not this turns into a heel turn for either Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon. Daniel Bryan's probably more likely, considering he was on their side for a lot of this. However, turning Daniel Bryan heel once he just returns, interesting move. But obviously, one way or another, well, actually, in saying that, you would think that Kevin and Sami would win. Obviously, if they don't, they're going to move to Raw. I think they're going to move to Raw anyway. I honestly think that Daniel Bryan being the GM, he's going to tank the match. Shane's going to get pissed at him. And then they're just going to get moved over to Raw anyway. One way or another, they probably end up on Raw. I don't know. I don't know. This is actually one of the tougher matches to predict. It all depends on the story that they want to roll with. I'm going to go Owens and Zayn just outright win based off a heel turn. But maybe they lose, maybe Daniel Bryan gets his moment and they end up on Raw the next night anyway, or 2 weeks from now. Who knows? I'm looking forward to this, though. I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. As far as match quality, because I'm not sure how much they want Daniel Bryan doing in his first match back, and then obviously Shane probably definitely shouldn't be in a ring this soon after his issues with diverticulitis, which still, you can only assume, aren't yet, he's not even close to 100%, so this might be the match I'm most intrigued by. Which leads me to one of the matches I'm not really intrigued by, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Do I expect a turn here of any kind? No. Should it be an alright match? Sure. I hope Ronda does well, because especially with some of her acting moments, people have been getting on her case a little bit, rightfully so. She's going to put Stephanie in an armbar and win the match. There might even be the double tap out. So that's that. That'll be a good moment. Hooray for press. The Undertaker and John Cena. I suppose I should tag this in there. So that would make it 14 matches, by the way, if this is actually a match. Do I know what the hell is going to happen here? No. Am I intrigued by it? Yes. Am I going to be fairly disappointed if it's, hey, next year's Mania? Yeah, that's going to suck. But I'm at least intrigued to see what happens. I will reserve judgment on said moment until it actually happens, because for right now, it's nothing but speculation. And that, my friends, as I take a swig of the one and only Arnold Palmer, Arizona, iced tea and lemonade, half and half. Because what are jump cuts, if not excuses to do more editing? And I ain't got time for that. I do. I have all the time in the world. AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. I kind of already gave away what I thought was going to happen. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win. And it's going to be the match of the night, because they're going to go 20-plus minutes, as they should. It's going to be the classic that we all hope it will be. Otherwise, I'm going to cry a lot of very not manly tears, because there is no excuse for this to not be one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, just off of name value alone. Their original match 2 years ago at the Tokyo Dome was insane, and I am looking forward to the rematch, even if it is within the confines of a WWE ring and not a New Japan ring, in which case I think it might be a little bit better, because, WWE storytelling and all, it's still going to be great. Speaking of great, the main event, because we all know this is the main event, Brock Lesnar and the Big Dog. Roman Reigns wins, Lesnar goes back to UFC. Mixed reaction with Roman winning, and then he gets booed to holy hell on Raw the next night. I am just more intrigued to see who gets the shot against Roman coming out of Mania. Fingers crossed for Samoa Joe, even though Samoa Joe going up against Reigns and losing again probably isn't for the best. Fingers crossed for someone who's not going to be that damaged by losing to Roman Reigns. Bring over Dolph Ziggler from SmackDown. Put him up against Roman. Don't put up anybody of consequence against Roman until SummerSlam. Please. Don't damage, just the Big Dog. That's all I have to say. So that pretty much covers it for all the Mania matches, right? Yeah. Cass, Ember Moon, Ali, Rusev, the Usos, Braun and Elias, The Miz, Nia, Asuka, Owens and Zayn, Angle, Rousey, Taker and Cena, Nakamura and Reigns. That's how I see it going down. Moving over to NXT Takeover New Orleans, not New Orleans. You gotta say it with emphasis. New Orleans. The first match, I can only assume, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly against the Authors of Pain, against Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. The finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and it is, of course, for the NXT Tag Team titles. Here's the thing. Had Bobby Fish not been hurt, I do assume... man, I don't know. One way or another, I think Cole and O'Reilly retain. I could have seen them maybe losing had Bobby Fish been 100%, but AOP is not going to win. They have to be going to the main roster at this point. They have nothing left to do, and of course Strong and Dunne are just a thrown-together team, a tremendous thrown-together team, but they're still a thrown-together team. I see the Undisputed Era retaining. Which brings us over to Adam Cole's second match of the night, thanks to this injury, which is unreal. It is Adam Cole against EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and the Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship. Who's going to win this match? I have no idea. I assumed it was going to be Adam Cole. That way every member of the Undisputed Era gets their title. I think Adam Cole is still going to be my pick. I mean, Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan, everyone expects them to branch off and get into their own feud. From there, though, Adam Cole, EC3, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, at least I fully expect, I mean, any combination of those four, there's going to be feuds. So I could easily see Velveteen Dream and EC3 just for the promos, and I think for the match quality, you go with Ricochet and Adam Cole heading into the next takeover. Whether or not they do another one out of nowhere in May, like they did for NXT Takeover Chicago, or whether or not they wait until SummerSlam weekend, I'm not sure. But I still think Adam Cole is going to win this. Adam Cole is going to have a showcase night. I think he'll branch off against Ricochet, and again, we'll see EC3 and the Velveteen Dream feuding moving forward. So one way or another, it's going to be a big night for the Undisputed Era. However, not exactly in the same way I'm sure Adam Cole was hoping for, with having to go through a tag match, which he's going to do very little, and a ladder match. But still, it should be both those matches should be solid. In terms of match quality on the card, I am expecting the tag title match to kind of be at the lowest, but even then, it's an NXT card. It should still be a solid match. Which brings me to the NXT Women's Championship match. Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, and I already gave away what I thought was going to happen. Shayna Baszler is going to get her win. Ember Moon is going up to the main roster. If Ember Moon doesn't go up to the main roster, we build up to a rematch, and then Ember gets called up anyway. I really don't see how Ember Moon's going to have a long title run here. Like, maybe she beats Shayna and then hangs around in one more feud until SummerSlam weekend. But who would Ember Moon go up against next, and who would actually beat her for the title? Kairi Sane, maybe they'd build up to that, but I'm not really seeing it. I don't see them going with like Billie Kay or Peyton Royce as champions, so I don't know. And plus, it makes more sense for it to be Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler for that title come SummerSlam weekend. So I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler here. Andrade, Cien Almas, and Aleister Black. I am looking forward to this match, let me tell you, because I'm scared of what's going to happen. I could see either man getting called up to the main roster. Whoever loses this match, I think, shows up on either Raw or SmackDown. I don't know if they'd necessarily want to build up to a rematch again at the next takeover. It would be nice, because Almas's reign, I mean, he's really only had the match against Gargano, and, I mean, Jesus Christ, what a match after his shock win over Galloway. But you always hear, oh, WWE looking for that next great Hispanic star. It's Almas. He is one of the best in the world. They finally, managed to recover from their terrible start of putting him in suspenders like a fucking... He's one of the best heels on the planet, and you make him a babyface in suspenders. We've been over this a million times. We don't have to discuss this any further, but what a dumb decision. I could easily see him showing up on Raw or SmackDown, same with Aleister Black. As far as who wins, I'm going to go with Aleister Black, although I could easily see Almas retaining, but, I'm going to go with Aleister Black, and I'm looking forward to seeing Almas on the main roster. Of course, he showed up in the Men's Royal Rumble this past January. There's your little teaser, I would say, to getting, letting people know exactly who this is, and not to mention he shows up with the belt as well. So I'm going to go with Aleister Black. I'm hoping Almas ends up on SmackDown, and before you know it, is a champion. Please don't waste him. Do not ruin him. He is not a douche like the last guy you tried to put momentum behind as your next great Hispanic star, Del Rio, who no-showed another event this weekend. Could somebody get that guy help? Like, really? There's something, like, just... I fail to believe... I find it hard to believe that he's just that big of a dick. There's got to be issues. Drug-related, mental, something. Get that guy help before he shows up on my doorstep for saying this and kicks me in the mouth. That leads to your main event, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, of course, a lot of speculation as far as who's getting called up. Of course, I've already talked about the Authors of Pain, more than likely. The loser of Almas and Black. I've talked about Ember Moon, more than likely getting the call up. Tommaso Ciampa is going to win this match, and Johnny Gargano will be one of the call-ups. I don't think we get that happy ending here, and here's why I'm going with Black winning and with Ciampa winning, is I think that's your next title program. Now, some people have speculated that Johnny shows up, and then Tommaso shows up the week after as a surprise and keeps that feud going. What I think happens is Aleister Black wins the title, Ciampa's his next challenger, and we put a hold on Ciampa and Gargano. Johnny gets called up to the main roster, builds up some momentum, and kind of similar to what happened with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in NXT. Sami Zayn's there for a while, he wins the title, Kevin Owens shows up and ruins his life. I think that'll be a similar thing just on the main roster between Gargano and Ciampa. This, I mean, in terms of hype, I mean, looking at the matches this weekend, Styles and Nakamura, Almas and Black, Gargano and Ciampa, those are the top three. Now that I'm just looking back through the card, those are the top three. I gotta be honest, in terms of rating it, I'm looking forward to Almas and Black the most, because I think that might be the match of the weekend under the WWE umbrella, and I'm very intrigued by the results. Gargano and Ciampa for the story, and I'm sure the match will be unreal and just stupidly physical and brutal, at least in terms of the damage Gargano's going to take. And, you know, that's not to say I'm not excited for Styles and Nakamura. I am, but I have my hesitation as far as how they're going to let this match play out. If they let them go full New Japan style, it's the number one, but we don't yet know. But guys, considering we are a good 23 minutes into this, it's been all one take. How much editing will I do aside from maybe putting a picture up in the corner? I have no idea, but I wanted to get this done because I knew that people were intrigued. So there you have it, my NXT Takeover New Orleans predictions. I'm sorry, I have to say it like that every time. And my WrestleMania 34 predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen over the weekend? What matches are you looking forward to the most? What matches aren't you looking forward to the most? The armbar. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the support as always. Drop a like if you like me talking about wrestling from time to time, as I may continue to do. Although don't worry, for the next one, I'm definitely shaving this garbage off. Yeah, have a good one, guys. Enjoy the wrestling, and I'll see you next time.